Yes, people. The next section, sir, very important, very elaborate section in your book. Listen very carefully. Sir, loan and investment by company. People, remember 185 talks about your loan guarantee security given to directors. Sir, 186 talks about loan guarantee security investment made by a company in any other place. This is only and only with regards to place where directors are interested. Sir, 186 comes into picture where if it is any other person other than director. (185) director, 186 any other person other than director. Clear this part? Yeah. Sir, what is 186? We'll see. Sir, loan and investment by company. The company is giving loan or the company is making some investment. Sir, can the company do? The company can do, provided there are certain conditions. What is that? We'll see. See, the first condition. Sir, in this particular thing, we'll be seeing something called, okay, I'll tell you. 186 subsection 1. 186 subsection 1 talks about, basically this section talks about four things. A company giving assume if I'm talking about Infosys, they cover four things. What? The first one is guarantee. The second one is investment. Sir, the third one is loan. Sir, the fourth one is security. Infosys giving guarantee or doing some investment. They are investing money somewhere. It can be buying some equity shares of some other company. Sir, Infosys is giving guarantee. Infosys is making investment. Infosys is giving loan or Infosys is giving security to any person other than director. Director is not here. Director 185. Sir, any other person. In short, we will be referring to this as guilds going forward. Yes, sir. Sir, 186 will be applicable. Clear this part, all of you? Sure? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, now what does 186.1 talk about? What does 186.1 talk about? Now see here. A company cannot invest through more than 2 layers of investment company. One company cannot invest more than 2 layers of investment company. Sir, now what do you mean by this? People, whenever we are reading this, we also need to refer to section 2 subsection 87 as well. Both of them give us the same effect. 186 says one company. Now assume I'm talking about, say, company A. The law says company A cannot invest through not more than 2 investment companies. Sir, company A, sir, company B, sir, company C. The maximum layers, this is called as layers. The maximum layers you can have is, it should not be more than 2. 2 what, sir? 2 investment companies. Yes. Yes, sir. 186 says one company, sir, company A cannot have more than 2 layers of investment companies. Sir, now for example, if I have company D, the law says this layer is going forward not allowed in India. This is prohibited. Which one, sir? Investment company. Sir, the same thing, section 2 subsection 87, which is the definition of subsidiary company. The law says a company cannot invest. Yes, people, I know you all have studied it in your childhood. You know, you remember also. I'm pakka. Sir, see the subsidiary company's definition. Subsidiary company, I'm gonna leave it. See this part. Provided that such class or classes of holding companies as may be prescribed shall not have layers of subsidiaries beyond such number as may be prescribed. Sir, now what is that prescribed number? Now see these subsidiary companies. Look at the first one. On and from the date of commencement of this rules, it came in 2017. No company other than a company belonging to a class specified in subrule 2 shall have more than 2 layers of subsidiaries. 2 layers of subsidiaries. Sir, here what do you mean by layer? See, what are they trying to tell? 186.1 says that you cannot have more than 2 investment companies as subsidiaries. You cannot invest through not more than 2 investment companies. 287 says you cannot invest. Now, say for example, if it is company A, if this is a holding company, you cannot have more than 2 layers of subsidiary companies. Both of them try to tell the same thing, but here it is generic. Here it is with respect to investment companies. But by default, remember, a company cannot have more than a second layer of subsidiary. Sir, what do you mean by that, sir? If at all say there is company A, sir, this company A is investing in company B. How much? More than 51%. So this will become a holding company. This will become a subsidiary company. Sir, now company B is investing in company C. Sir, how much? Again, assume 51%. So this will become holding, this will become subsidiary. Now, for our understanding, we will be considering this as our first layer. And this we will be considering it as second layer. Sir, in India, as on today's date, third layer is not allowed. Is this clear? All of you? Pakka? Yes. So, sir, the maximum you can have it only 2 layers, not below that. Sir, why is this? See, for example, now imagine this, keep, if at all this was allowed, if it becomes company D, company C, company E. Sir, what is happening? Tomorrow when I have to know who is the actual owner of company E, there is so much of diversion of funds that tomorrow I will not be able to know who is the actual owner. Money laundering, the chances of, the black money, the chances of money rotation, diversion of funds is very high here. So we wanted to completely prohibit such transactions. So we started having the prohibition on number of layers. So as on today's date, up to company C is allowed. Beyond company C is not allowed. Is this clear? Yes, sir. Okay. A question for you. Sir, assume there is company A. Company A has invested in company B. Company A is also invested in company C, in D, in E, in F. Is this valid? Come on, pause and think. If not able to, then continue. People, is this valid? People, I said you cannot invest through not more than 2 layers. Whenever I say layer, only this is the layer. Horizontal, sir. Vertically, if I am directly investing in any number of subsidiaries, it is absolutely fine. Why? Sir, in D, who is the shareholder? Company A. I am able to easily find. Sir, E. Sir, company A. There is no diversion of funds. No. Sir, whenever there is layers, now assume D invests in E. Okay. Sir, company A has invested in, assume, 4 companies. Sir, B, C, D, E. Sir, all these are valid because all these are first layer. Clear? Sir, now assume D invested further into F. So this is also valid because this is second layer. Sir, assume C invested in G, valid. Every chain you need to take it individually. Sir, F further invested in H. Sir, this is not valid because it is becoming a third layer. Is this clear? All of you? Pakka? Sir, there is one exception to the subsidiary company rule. Sir, company A, assume B, C, D. B is a subsidiary company. Sir, D is also a subsidiary company, whereas C is a wholly owned subsidiary. The 100% is held by company A only. Whenever there is a wholly owned subsidiary, one layer is exempted. Sir, meaning what, sir? Whenever there is a wholly owned subsidiary, one layer is exempted. Sir, now C has E. E has invested in F. In general scenario, it became three layers. In generally, it should not be valid. But because one is a wholly owned subsidiary, that layer alone is exempted from the count. So E will be valid, F will be valid. Sir, okay, F further invested in G. Now G is also a wholly owned subsidiary. Now, sir, always remember only one layer is valid. So if at all it comes again, it will be counted and it will be considered into the limit. So this will be considered as non-compliance. Only one is exempted. Sir, where is it written? I'll show you. Can you see that second proviso? Read this one. Provided further that for computing the number of layers under this rule, one layer which consists of one or more wholly owned subsidiary or subsidiaries shall not be taken into account. Can you see here one layer of wholly owned subsidiaries will not be taken into account. Not more than one layer. Is this clear? All of you? Pakka? Yes? Okay, sir. So this is given in section 2, subsection 87. With respect to a generic company, any company they cannot have. Sir, 186 specifically talks about an investment company. See what is the law saying? A company cannot invest through more than two layers of investment company. Subsidiary in general. 186 investment company. Okay, sir, what does it say? Listen. Sir, now what is this investment company? People, investment company means any company whose main objects, your MOA, your main objects of the company is to acquire, sir, to dispose or to hold securities. Sir, what do you mean by investment company? Investment company, in your main objects, in your MOA, you say this is my job. Acquisition, selling, trading is your job. Then you are called as an investment company. Sir, or I am having any other object. I am not having investment as my object. I am having some other thing as my object. Any other object. Sir, but I am having some other object. But the law says the company's total income, income from investment is more than 50% of total income, or value of investment is more than 50% of total value of assets. total value of assets. Sir, now what do you mean? If at all your main object says your investment company, but my main object doesn't say so, then okay. Sir, my company's total income is 100 lakh. Out of that, this 100 lakh includes sales, services, everything. Out of that, sir, I've invested in equity shares, I get dividend. The dividend I get 20 lakhs, sir. Sir, I've invested in preference shares, so I get preference dividend. Sir, I get around 10 lakhs, sir. Sir, I've invested in debentures. Sir, I get interest of say 30 lakhs, sir. Sir, in my total income, that is 100 lakhs, ideally I am into, say for example, I'm into production of some biscuits. But I've made investments and my income is this much from investment. Dividends I'm getting, preference, debentures, that is interest I'm getting. So the total of all this is 60 lakh. That is, in my total income, 50% of the income or more than 50% of my total income I'm getting from investments only. Then this company is called as an investment company. Or, sir, on my asset side, the company would have made investments. I've invested in land and building. How much? 10 lakh. I've invested in plant and machinery. How much? 10 lakh. I've invested, some I have it in cash at bank. How much? 10 lakh. The rest of it I've invested in, say, debentures. How much? I've invested 20 lakh. I've invested in equity shares of some other company. How much? Sir, 30 lakh. Sir, I've invested in some preference share. How much? Sir, 10 lakh. Sir, out of my total assets, how much is my total assets? Sir, 60, 80, 90 lakh. Sir, more than 50%. That is in this case, how much? Sir, 60 lakh is out of my total assets. My investment in your my value of investment is more than total value of assets. Where is it? Sir, my investments is more than 50% of my total value of assets. Yes, sir. Sir, in this case, even then it will be considered as an investment company. Sir, the condition is or. Clear? Pakka? AU? Pakka? Okay, sir. Yes, people. So 186.1 says that, yes, sir, you cannot invest through more than 2 layers. Yes, sir. The maximum 2 investment companies you can have as a subsidiary. Okay. Sir, however, there is one exception. What is that exception? Sir, you are acquiring any company outside India and there you can have more than layer as per their laws. It is absolutely fine. Sir, assume Infosys wants to acquire a company in US. Assume Google. Sir, Google has say 100 subsidiaries. Sir, is it valid? Yes, valid. Because it is valid as per their law. You cannot tell you change there also. It is valid there, it is valid. Sir, or to meet requirement under any other law. In India only you are making, but to meet some other requirement of any other law apart from Companies Act, it is valid. Or else the maximum layer is 2 investment companies. Why I explained you subsidiary also? Because they are connected. Yes, all of you. So 287, it talks about only with respect to investment companies. But even otherwise, there is a prohibition for all subsidiaries as well. Yeah. Okay, sir. Sir, now what does the law say? Loan and investment by company. If a company make or provide, if a company makes guarantee or security, or if a company provides loan to any person or body corporate. See, this is any person or body corporate apart from your director. Section 186 shall apply. If the company is giving any guarantee, investment, loan, security, GILS here stands for guarantee, investment, loan, security. If you are giving it to any person or body corporate, section 186 shall apply. However, the person does not include the employee here. Employee is not included, it is any other person other than managing director and whole-time director. Yes, sir. So, person does not include employee. So, if you are giving any loan to your employee, it is not covered here. Other than managing director, whole time director, why sir? This entire thing we saw under 185. Yes, sir. Okay, sir. So, sir, the law says you can give loan. If a company provide gilts to any person or body corporate, 186 will apply. Sir, how much can I give? You are saying I can give guarantee, I can give investment, I can give loan, I can give security to any person. How much? The law says the existing plus proposed. If you have already given plus proposed, sir, your existing gilts, that is guarantee plus loan plus investment plus security plus proposed gilts, old plus new, these two together shall not exceed, the maximum what you can give is 60% of your paid up share capital, free reserves plus securities premium, or 100% of your free reserves plus securities premium, whichever is higher. Whichever is higher. Sir, what do you mean, sir? Sir, assume paid up share capital is 20 lakh. Sir, free reserves is 20 lakh. Sir, securities premium is 5 lakh. Yes, sir. Sir, how much does it amount to? Sir, 60% of paid up share capital plus free reserves plus securities premium. That is your 45 lakh into 60%, or sir 20 lakh plus 5 lakh, that is your free reserves plus securities premium. So that is 25 lakh into 100%. Sir, whichever is higher. This is the maximum guarantee, investment, loan, security, everything together, that too old plus new. Everything put together, it cannot exceed this limit. Clear? Pakka? Okay, sir. Sir, now I want to exceed the limit. What to do? Sir, the law says if you want to give it within this limit, 60% or 100%, whichever is higher. Very simple, pass a board resolution. You need not even ask your shareholders. Pass board resolution, more than sufficient. Sir, board resolution, the care to be given here, guys, what? Sir, the board resolution, it shall be agreed unanimously. Meaning what? Whoever has attended that board meeting, all the directors, everyone should agree. All. Okay, sir. Sir, 60% of paid up share capital, free reserve, securities premium. It is paid up share capital, preference share is included. Sir, or free reserves plus securities premium, 60%, 100%, whichever is higher. This board resolution is sufficient. Provided unanimous approval should be there, all directors should agree. Sir, okay, sir, agreed. We are giving them this much. Sir, I want to give even more. Now, very simple. Call your shareholders, pass a special resolution. Simple. Up to the limit, board resolution, all directors should agree. Beyond the limit, special resolution. Now, the same thing we have written here, see. To exceed the limit, pass a special resolution. See here, if company intends to make gilts, guarantee, investment, loan, security, pass a unanimous approval of board is required. Passing of unanimous approval of board is required. Clear? All of you? Okay, sir. So, sir, how many approvals I need? Board approval if it is within the limit, all directors. Sir, beyond the limit, I need to take my shareholders approval. Sir, third limit, one more person is coming into picture. Sir, board within the limit. Sir, special resolution beyond the limit. Sir, the third person, public financial institutions approval is also required. When, sir? When the PFI approval is required. When? If company has taken any term loan. Sir, the company is only giving loan, But the irony is that they have only taken loan from public financial institution. Sir, you have taken loan. Even that is not my problem. You have still not repaid. That loan is still subsisting. People subsist means still existing. You have still not yet repaid it. Okay, sir. Sir, PFI approval required when you have taken any term loan and it is still existing. So, if it is existing, it is required. The law says. However, there is one exception. If it is not required. PFI approval not required when? If the proposed loan or interest is not defaulted. Sir, you have taken loan from PFI. Sir, now assume Infosys wants to give gilts. Yes, sir. However, Infosys only has taken loan from ICICI Bank. Sir, taking loan is also okay. The law says whatever loan you have taken at any given point of time, the interest or the loan amount, you should have not made any default in repayment. Default should have not been made. The first condition. And existing plus proposed gilts is within the limits. Sir, what limit, sir? This limit. Sir, what does the law say? Sir, you need to assume ICICI Bank's approval. When, sir, whenever you have taken a loan and that loan is still subsisting, you have to take. However, they give you an exemption. What? You have taken the loan. Have you ever made a default in repayment? If the answer is no, one more condition you need to satisfy. What? Sir, whatever money I am borrowing, it is within the limits of that 60% of paid up share capital plus free reserves plus securities premium, or the 100% of free reserves plus securities premium. Sir, whichever is higher, my borrowing, sir, whatever I am giving gilts, whatever gilts I am making, it is within this limit, sir. If you satisfy both this condition, you can give loan without PFI approval. Sir, even if one condition is not satisfied, either of it, even if one is not satisfied, sir, PFI approval is required. So, sir, PFI approval required when, sir? When the loan is subsisting and you have made a default, you need to take PFI approval. Sir, no default, come to the limit. If you are exceeding the limit of board, you are going for shareholder, PFI approval required. Sir, within the limit only, no PFI approval required. Pakka, clear, sure, people. Okay, sir. Sir, next one. Rate of interest on loans shall not be less than the prevailing yield of government securities. Just like whatever you saw in 185. You are giving loan, Infosys is giving loan, the loan, whatever interest you charge, should not be less than the government charged, whatever securities whatever interest they give on their securities. Your interest should not be less than that. It should only be more than that. Yes. Sir, this shall not apply to Section 8 company. Which one? The interest rate should not be less than the government securities. So that shall not apply to a Section 8 company in which minimum 26% of the paid up share capital is held by either the central government or state government, and that loan is provided for industrial research and development projects. Sir, for all other companies, your interest shall not be less than the government yield of the government securities. Sir, exception, Section 8 company where in their company minimum 26% of the paid up share capital is held by central government or state government, and that loan is provided for industrial research and development projects. Pakka? Yes? Okay, sir. Sir, gilts shall not be made if a company has made any default in repayment of principal or interest on deposits. Sir, the company has taken deposit, the interest and the principal part should have been repaid on time. There should have not been any default. Sir, what if there was default? You should have made good the default. Till such default subsist, you first repay that, and then you can do gilts. Until you repay, gilts is not allowed. Clear? Pakka? Understood? Yes, sir. Sir, every company making gilts maintain a register in form MBP2. If a company is giving gilts, guarantee, investment, loan, security, you need to maintain all those details in a book called as MBP2. It is called register. Sir, MBP1, disclosure of interest by directors. Sir, MBP2 is the register where a company which is giving gilts shall maintain the details of all such things given in this particular register. Pakka? Clear? Sure? Yes? Okay, sir. Yes, sir. So the maintenance of register form MBP2, it shall be preserved permanently, sir, throughout the life of the company. The entry should be made within 7 days of making of gilts. Yes, sir. Okay, sir. So the entries in the book shall be authenticated by a CS. If there is no CS, any other person authorized by the board. Authenticated, a person who should write or sign there. Sir, furnishing of extracts from register. The extract from such register may be furnished to any member. Sir, if any member wants to see where and all the company has given or wherever the company has given gilts, sir, the company can give an extract, a copy of it, provided it shall not charge more than 10 rupees per page. Sir, section 186 subsection 1. What is one, sir, which spoke about that investment companies and layer? Sir, this shall not apply to, only 186.1 shall not apply to gilts made by banking company, insurance company, housing finance company, industrial or infrastructure finance company. Banking company, insurance company, housing finance company or industrial or infrastructural finance company, it is not applicable. Sir, this is not applicable to any investment. Which one, sir? The limit made by an investment company. The limits is not applicable to any investment made by an investment company. Sir, any investment made pursuant to your right shares, right issue. Sir, if at all a company is investing in another company because they gave us a rights issue, it is not applicable. Sir, made in respect of investment or lending and activities by an NBFC. Sir, this investment thing is not applicable. Sir, section 186 shall, the entire section shall not apply to a government company engaged in defense production or a government company other than a listed company. If you are a government company which is listed, this is applicable. A government company other than listed company, in a case such company obtains approval from the ministry or department of the central government, basically whichever is a concerned ministry. If you are a government company who is in defense, it is not applicable. If you are a listed government company, it is applicable. If you are an unlisted government company and you take a approval from the ministry or that particular department of central government, sir, this particular thing will not apply to you. Sir, penalty. If a company contravenes the provision of this section, it shall be punishable with fine which shall not be less than 25,000, may extend to 5 lakh rupees. Every officer of the company who is in default shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 2 years and with fine which shall not be less than 25,000 rupees but which may extend to 1 lakh rupees. Sir, yes sir. So this, where is this? Sir, this is for company. So this is for officer. Clear? Pakka? Understood? Any doubts in today's thing? All of you? Sure? Okay, sir. Make sure you revise and come so that we'll solve a question or two before going to the next section. Yeah. So in tomorrow's class, we'll be finishing off this particular topic. Yeah. We'll be finishing off the 3rd chapter. Hope something is going inside. Yes, all of you. Okay, sir. Thank you.